Brendan, it's lovely to meet you.
You too.
Congratulations with Paddington 2.
Thanks.
I was a huge fan of the first one now, so I suppose, like many others, I might have been a little bit apprehensive as to how they might bring the story forward. But it was perfect. Fantastic.
Thanks. Yeah, no, well, I mean, the main thing there is Paul King, you know, and obviously the same production team, but Paul King is kind of central to the writing, and Simon Farnaby, the two of them. You know, we worked and we went in, we had rehearsal, we kind of worked the thing a lot. Like they're perfectionists, really.
Yeah.
And it kind of shows, you know, you can see it. Like, he's just, the first thing I asked when I got the script was whether Paul was going to be actually directing it.
Yeah.
Because it was very clear from the first film, like, absolutely knows what he's doing.
And I felt like your character was very like Mad Eye Moody. Like I kind of it wasn't obviously the exact same, but you was like hard on the outside, soft on the inside, you know, like, and just that kind of twinkle in your eye. Well,
like
only had
egg.
one eye in the other movie, but
Yeah. No, there was a certain, you know, there's the old gruff thing, I suppose. There was definitely kind of the same kind of thing, that bark is worse than his bite and all that kind of stuff. But
exactly.
it's a lot of fun to play.
Yeah, and did you, like, obviously Knuckles McGinty, it's such an Irish name, but obviously, you know,
It's not really that much of an Irish name.
I know, but kind of like that twee Irish, where the British people would think it's Irish. Did you kind of see the name and be like, come here?
I said this will either be very good or very bad, and then I got into it and I said, no, this is actually very good.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to laugh.
Yeah, definitely. And it must have grated on you just a smidge, coming from a teaching background, that you had the wrong spelling on your knuckles.
I insisted on it.
Did you?
I did.
Why?
Because I want to bring a rogue apostrophe into mainstream culture.
Okay, in the wrong place. Wasn't it in between, like,
yes,
two?
It was. In between.
I noticed that.
It was, it was before the S for no reason whatsoever. And then, of course, we dropped a K, but everybody started getting involved.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think Donal was involved at one point, and Mary, my wife, was involved at one point, and then Paul King added some other stuff. And then there was a suggestion, I think then even that L-E apostrophe S became E-L apostrophe S. So everybody had a go at it. The misspelling was great crack.
And like at home and stuff, and with your sons obviously being involved in the industry, would you kind of go home and be like, what do you think of this, get their opinion, or would it be a very much case where you like to do things your own way?
Well, most of them aren't at home, you see, so there'd be no point in me going home and talking to them.
Talking to the wall.
Not to the wall. Like, yeah. I know, we do chat about stuff, and I've just directed my first short with them.
Yeah.
And so that's just the way it is. Kind of, we've all kind of gravitated towards that. I wouldn't particularly push it in that direction, but that's the way it goes. So yeah, I mean, I'd respect. At this point, they've gone into a place where, you know, it's not kind of a question of me being the mentor anymore. It's kind of what they're bringing to it, and I always I would run stuff by them. You know, even some of my own stuff, and say, look, what's your take on that? It's always interesting.
And you're saying there, like, you generally didn't necessarily push them into it. Growing up, like, in the Gleeson household, what kind of a dad were you? Were you, like, the hard one, and then your wife came in good cop, bad cop?
We swapped around.
Yeah.
You always have to swap around.
Yeah.
You don't want just one doing all the hard bits.
It's no fun.
Yeah, and, like, the problem with me is I started going away a lot, too. So that was a constant kind of a question for myself. But I remember early on, at one point, I was coming home, I was trying to get back from Wales, and I was in such a state coming home that it was nearly easier for me to stay over there, because I was just disrupting everything. But that was always the big question about, you know, can they get over? So we decided to keep them, if they were in school, to stay in school. If they're on holidays, they could come over and stuff like that.
Okay.
But it was all that kind of exercised me more than it should have.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because, like, parenting is different now, the way people, men and women, are working, and there's a lot less regularity. But I just remember that the times that I could spend with them, there was loads of it.
Yeah.
You know, so you have to kind of balance whatever happens.
Absolutely. And then nowadays, like Christmas, would they all come home?
Hopefully.
Okay.
Hopefully we get, we should. I think we should make it this year. Okay. It's hard to get the four of them.
Oh, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Recently, Colin Farrell was asked what his favourite memory of In Bruges was, and he said it was working with you. That was it. I'm going to ask you the same question, but you cannot say working with him. So what is your favourite memory?
Well, working with the two of them. My favourite bit of In Bruges was, we went over 2 weeks before time, and Martin and Colin and myself sat in a room, and we felt after a day and a half, let's just go and shoot this kind of thing. We know what we're talking about. And then we went more and more and delved into more and more. Other people of the cast came in and out and stuff. But that was the happiest time, actually. It was like finding new stuff in it, and just being really feeling that we had really covered an awful lot of ground before we even stepped on the set the first day. But Colin is a total dream. Like, he really is. He's one of those guys. I just kind of thrilled he's in this industry of ours, and that he kind of is the man he is, you know. He's got great integrity, and we had a lot of fun. I had more fun than him, though.
Did you?
Yeah, because he was going around as a child murderer.
It was a pretty depressing role already.
every time we thought we could have a laugh, he had to go back into that place.
Oh yeah.
I just killed people for a living. That was okay.
And would you do a reunion? He said he'd be up for it in January. Not necessarily
totally,
like, oh really?
Ah, yeah.
A reboot or a reunion?
Oh, I'd work with him again, like, in a heartbeat, yeah.
Fabulous. Well, listen, thank you so much. And I genuinely love Paddington. Can't wait to see it again.
Great. Cheers.